Okay, let's dive in. We're all so used to our modern vehicles, right? Get in, you push a button,
Yeah.
that's it.
The machine just serves you. It does all the work.
Exactly. But we've got a document here today that just flips that whole idea on its head.
Yeah.
It's a 1928 owner's manual for an AJS motorcycle.
And the title, it says everything. It's not called How to Ride Your Bike. It's called How to Manage Them.
Manage them. I mean, that sounds less like driving and more like you're handling a difficult employee or something.
It's surprisingly accurate, though. And that's really our mission for this deep dive, to get a sense of what being a rider meant in 1928.
And the main takeaway seems to be you weren't just a rider.
No. You were the chief mechanic, the engineer, and the full-time manager of this really complex piece of machinery.
You see that from the very first step. I was reading the starting ritual, and honestly, just trying to get the engine running sounds exhausting.
It's not a simple key turn, that's for sure.
No. You have to set an air lever, then you have to flood the carburetor by hand.
Which means you're literally pushing a pin to make the fuel overflow on purpose.
Right. And then there's this big warning about the ignition lever. It says you must retard the ignition before you kick it over.
Yeah, and that's a critical bit of mechanics. You're manually delaying the spark. If you don't, it fires too early in the cycle.
And what happens then?
The engine kicks back violently.
The manual warns about a heavy blow from the foot starter. So you're saying if you forget that one step, the bike could actually, break your leg?
It could, yeah. It was a real physical danger.
Okay, so you managed to start it without injury. Then you have to deal with the gearbox.
Which is a whole other world of management.
I saw this frantic warning in italics. Do not force the gears. It says if they don't engage, you have to get off and physically rock the whole motorcycle back and forth.
Mm-hmm. That's because they're not modern synchronized gears. They're dog clutches.
Dog clutches.
Think of them as big interlocking metal teeth. They don't use friction to smooth things out. They have to physically slot into each other perfectly.
So if they're not aligned?
They just crash together. So you rock the bike to line up the teeth.
Wow. And speaking of strange materials, the clutch section made me do a double take. It warns you not to slip the clutch on hills.
Right.
Because it will burn out the cork inserts.
Mm-hmm.
Actual cork.
Right.
Like in a wine bottle.
It sounds primitive, but yeah. Compressed cork submerged in oil. It provides great grip, but it has zero tolerance for heat.
So if you slip that clutch, you're literally charring wood inside your engine.
You're destroying it. It's another thing you have to constantly manage, just like the oil.
The little glass window?
Exactly. No warning lights. You had to look down while you were riding and visually confirm that oil was still dripping, if that drip stopped.
Your engine was about to seize. You really are the manager.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the part that I found fascinating.
I think I know where you're going.
The manual doesn't just treat you like a mechanic. It expects you to be a racer. There's a whole chapter called Hints and Tips for Hill Climbs and Speed Events.
That was the culture. The manufacturer just assumed the average owner would want to compete.
And they give you recipes for fuel. It says to mix your petrol with something called benzol.
It's a coal tar product. They're basically telling you how to brew your own high-octane fuel to stop the engine from knocking under pressure.
And they tell you to swap out spark plugs for special racing ones, change your sprocket sizes. It's just wild. They expected you to tear the bike down on a weekend.
And they gave you the tools to do it. That toolkit that came with the bike is proof.
Yeah, it wasn't just a wrench and some pliers. It had a valve extractor, a chain rivet extractor.
These are specialized tools. It tells you that if you broke down on the side of the road...
You didn't call for a tow. You were the roadside assistance.
Precisely. The machine and the rider were in this partnership. You had to understand it, respect its quirks, and keep it running.
So it makes you think. We've gained so much convenience, and I love my push-button start, don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But reading this, you realize we've sort of become passengers.
And that's the big question, isn't it? And making all our machines so automated, so completely effortless.
Have we lost that deep, satisfying connection to the technology we rely on every day?
There's a certain pride in knowing how to truly manage the machine.
Something to think about the next time you just get in and drive.
That's it for this deep dive. Thanks for listening.